Thanks, Heidi. Hi, everybody. My name is Anna Eggleston. I am the Chief Zen Officer of Above Yoga, which is my yoga business. We take people on yoga retreats, and then I also teach in a lot of corporate and nonprofit and volunteer ways as well. So my favorite type of yoga student is someone who thinks maybe yoga isn't for them, or maybe they haven't done a lot of yoga in the past. So if you are brand new to yoga, you absolutely, I think, will find this practice very accessible and enjoyable. But as Heidi mentioned, since this is geared more towards creatives and makers, we're going to focus on all those areas that can get tight and maybe sometimes don't get quite enough love. So things like our wrists and our forearms and into our necks. And we'll talk about why some of the things get tight and where that refers pain in the body, as well as our psoas and our hip flexors and things that happen when we sit. So I'll give you a little more information as we go. If you don't have a mat, you'll probably still be okay. You can just do it on any sort of surface where you have a little bit of grip. But if you have a mat, make sure it's rolled out. If you happen to have yoga props at home and you want to grab those like blocks, or if you don't have blocks, you could grab books. But if you don't have any props, don't worry. If you want to grab a pillow off your couch to make it more comfortable at the very end, feel free to do that too. But we will get started. This is going to be a 45-minute class. So we'll start slowly and then we'll work into a little bit of a slow flow. And then we'll come back down at the end for our nice long Shavasana or final resting pose. And then we'll close in seated. So that's kind of what you can expect. And it is for all levels. If anything doesn't work in your body, then feel free to just take something that feels better. You are your best teacher. I'm just giving you ideas that you can go with or not go with as you choose. So if you're not already on your mat, let's go meet back there. Make sure you have space on every side of your mat so that if we come off the mat a little, you're not kicking things in your living room. So we're going to start all the way on our mats. So find yourself in a reclined position. We're going to start in what we like to call constructive rest. So allow the soles of the feet to be on the mat, and then allow the knees to fall in. So soles of the feet are about as wide as your mat. Knees are falling in towards one another. So we're allowing a little bit of release in the hip with the rotation. And then hands can be on the belly. So as we begin to settle into our mat, we're going to allow the breath to just flow in and out naturally. If it's comfortable, allow the eyes to be closed. Release the space between the eyebrows. Notice where you might be holding tension in the shoulders. Allow the shoulders to melt into your mat or the earth. And as you start to settle the body, let's settle the mind a little with our breath. So breathing in nice and slow, in through the nose. Holding at the top. And then exhale, let it go out through the mouth. We'll call this a cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Pause at the top. And then exhale, let it go. Let's take a few more rounds like that if it feels good. If this breath pattern isn't working, just find another easy, gentle, elongated inhale and exhale. However you're breathing, just notice the rise and fall of the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Maybe allowing your body to take its fullest inhale of the day. And releasing its fullest exhale of the day. Take one more full round of breath here. Let it out. Extend your legs long. Reach your arms overhead. Again, this is where we want to make sure we're not going to run into anything off of our mats. We're going to pick our heels up and move them over towards the right. And then pick our chest up, move our chest towards the right as well, and our shoulders. And take our arms overhead. So we're making this C curve shape. I'll stand up. You're going to do it laying down. I'm just going to demonstrate what it looks like standing up. So we're curving into the left side body. So the shoulders and the glutes are staying on the mat. We're just dragging our heels and our hands over to the top corner, the bottom corner of our mat, creating some extra space in the left side ribs. Breathing deeply into our side body. If you feel like you have this space, you can grab the left wrist with the right hand to create a little bit of extra tension. And if you feel like you have space in the lower half of the body, you might be able to cross the left ankle over the right. These are all just options. If you're feeling a deeper stretch on the left side body, you are doing the version of the pose that is right for you. One more big round of breath on this side. Slowly come back to neutral. Return everything to this reclined position. And then pick the shoulders up, move the body over to the other side, to the left. Drag your heels to the left. Find this banana shape on the other side. So we're breathing deep into the right side body. Trying to keep our head and our heels grounded. So we can allow yoga to create space where maybe there wasn't before. That can mean physically or mentally. Just clearing out a little bit of space in the mind and the body. Clearing out space so we have that blank canvas to be creative. Take a few more rounds of breath here. One big final round of breath on this side. Let it out. Come back to neutral. Reset the spine. Gently place the soles of the feet one at a time on the mat. Reset the hips. And just allow the knees to gently windshield wiper side to side. So getting a little bit of movement into the outer hip. You can take these as slow or as fast feels good to you. A few more windshield wipers. We'll gently get deeper into the hips here on the back. So soles of the feet on the earth. Knees are pointing up. Cross your right ankle just above your left knee. If you're already feeling a stretch here in the right hip, stay. If you're not, maybe you start to draw the left knee in towards the chest. And you may reach around and grab from behind the leg. Whatever your figure four looks like on your back, as long as you're getting some sensation that's pleasant in the right hip, you are doing it right for your body. It's going to look like a different posture in all of us. Make sure the head and the neck are on the earth. Often I see people try to grab for the back of the leg, and so they sacrifice and they lift the head up. Head should be resting. Allow the eyes to be closed if it's comfortable. Come back to your breath. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. Slowly uncross the right ankle and then bicycle the legs out. So find it nice and slow and extend the leg all the way long and then pull the knee back into the chest. So we're starting to work here in the hip flexors. So like our psoas, this big muscle that wraps around the front of our hips, starting to engage and release there. Awesome. When you're ready, plant both soles of the feet back on the earth. This time, left ankle crosses over right knee. Again, sides can be super different in hips. So no matter what this pose looks like on the first side, take a moment to take some inventory here and see how it feels on the left side. If you feel like you need more sensation, pull the right knee towards the chest. And maybe you grab for the right leg in some way. If you feel like you still need more, you can press the left elbow to press the left knee out. Again, if it's comfortable, close the eyes, check in with your breath. It's said that opening the hips can sometimes release deep held memories or emotions. So if you feel anything bubble up, just allow it to be. In the same way that we don't label or judge the things that we make or create, let's not label or judge our postures or our body in our practice. We need to meet our body where it is right here, right now. Might be different every day. It's definitely different in the evening versus the morning. Often in the morning we feel a little tighter. We've just gotten up. In the evening we may feel a bit more open. We've spent our day moving around, walking, bending. So just meet your body where it is. Take another big round of breath. Let it out. Slowly uncross. Again, bicycling the legs out. Take it nice and slow. Find a full extension of the leg. This is a little bit of work in the abdominals as well. And then work the mind. Reverse your bicycle. So bike backwards. Awesome. When you're ready, reach to the backs of the legs and start to rock up and down the spine. So if this is not comfortable, just find your way to a seat, however that might work for you. If you get a little momentum on your rock and roll, find your way to your seat. We'll meet in a comfortable seat. That may not be cross-legged. It may be extending the legs for you or sitting up on a block or a pillow. So whatever that seat looks like, find a nice tall spine. Start to pull the shoulders to the ears. We're going to squeeze the shoulders up, 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 and then a little bit forcefully release them. So this is a good way to engage a muscle so it's able to release more. So pull the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze, and then drop the shoulders down, release. Take a few more like that. Our shoulders is a place where we carry a lot of tension if we work over our craft or our computer. Take a few more. Let them drop. Last round. Let it go. And then just start to roll the shoulders out. So that may be forward and back one at a time. Just take the next 5 or 6 rounds of breath. No one can see you. Allow a little bit of creative movement here. And then roll them forward. I say yoga is like being on a dance floor. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's watching you. And if they are, it's probably just because they're jealous of your moves. So. And then we'll start to make this a bigger movement. So hands on the knees, pull the chest and the chin forward. And then round the spine back, pull the chin into the chest. So seated cat-cows, I'll do them from the side so you can see the undulation of the spine. So we're inhaling as we reach the chest and the chin forward, and we're exhaling as we round the spine back. So typically in yoga, we inhale as the pose expands, as we create space in the body, and then we exhale as we round back in, contracting our muscles and our body. Take 2 or 3 more full rounds. Seated cat-cow. We're going to work all 6 movements of the spine, because if we sit or we hunch over something during the day, we're usually not working very many of those movements. So we'll start to make circles, circling the ribs over the hips. Again, anytime you feel safe and comfortable in your body and you want to close the eyes to find a little bit deeper of a sensation, just honor that wish that might be coming up to sink deeper, to find a little more focus. And then switch, circle the other way. So I like to think of our yoga class just like if we were doing one of those wine and paint things where maybe everyone's following the same thing, but at the end we get all very different products. So that's how I feel like our yoga class should be, is that we may all end up in slightly different variations. Our practice may look a little different, even if we're following the same person. That's what it should be. Circle again a few times each way. And then we'll begin to work some twist. So often we don't twist much in our normal lives. It's really healthy for our spine to do so. So inhale, reach the arms up. And then I'm going to mirror you. So exhale, right hand comes to left knee. Left arm is back behind you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist, lift over your left shoulder. So we want to twist from the center of the spine, not our low back. Never push past your edge. When you start to feel resistance, stop. Inhale, reach back to center, lift up out of the waist. Exhale, twist other side. So left hand to right knee. Shoulders should be level with one another. So if one shoulder's jumped up a little higher, try to bring it down. One more time each side. Inhale, reach back to center. Exhale, twist right hand to left knee. So your right hand is behind you. Sorry, your left hand is behind you like a second spine, holding you up. Inhale back to center, lift. Exhale, twist other way. Awesome. Inhale back to center. Bring the hands to the heart. So we've taken that forward and back movement of the spine and we've taken our twist. So now we need to work side to side, just like we did at the start of class. So inhale, reach. And then left hand comes down, right arm comes over, reach. So try to keep both of your glutes glued down. Spin your chest open. Find some resistance. Inhale, reach back to center, and then take it over other side. So we can think about pretty much every movement we make originates somewhere from the spine or pretty close by. Important to keep our spine healthy no matter what we're filling our days with. One more time each side. Inhale, reach. Left hand plants, right arm comes over. Maybe you walk the fingertips out. Inhale, reach back to center and switch. Last time. Inhale, reach back to center. Hands come down to the heart. Close the eyes, check in with your breath. Check in with how the body's feeling, what stories you might be telling yourself about your practice, what's going on in your life, and allow all of that to just fall off. For these next 30 minutes that we still have together, allow yourself to be present here and only here. Give yourself the gift of time and space so you can walk out of the rest of class renewed and ready to tackle a new project. Take a big inhale. Exhale, side out. Drop the hands to the knees. We'll do a little bit of neck work and then we'll find a little bit more movement in the lower half of the body. So allow the chin to drop to the chest. Big inhale, trace the chin up. Gaze up at the ceiling. Chin to chest, release. Inhale, gaze and trace the chin up. Take two more like that, your breath, your pace. And we'll come back to neutral. So one thing to think about on our neck and our cervical spine is that often when we're sitting over something or we're working, especially on a computer, or we're leaning forward to work on something, we often get our neck and our head way in front of the rest of our spine instead of stacking it over. It's another reason we want to try to work and find some movement in the neck. So drop the chin towards one ear and then drag it across the chest. drop the other ear towards the other shoulder. So we're just making little half circles, dragging the chin across the chest. And then come back up through center. When you sit up tall, notice if you tend to lean forward and jut the chin out, or if you can rock back so that your head is truly sitting on top of your spine. So we'll do that a few more times. Drop the chin to the chest, drag it over to one shoulder, and drag it across. Just find these little half circles, almost like you're tracing the neckline of your shirt. Maybe start to make them a little bit bigger. Trace all the way up to the shoulder. If you're ready and your head and your neck feel okay, take this circle all the way back. Take full circles a few times each direction. Be gentle. Our cervical spine is the most delicate part of our spine. And then trace your circles a few times the other way. No rush. When you feel complete, come back up to a seat. We'll do a little bit of self-love, self-massage here. So take your hands out, press like you're pressing stop signs towards me, and then turn your fingertips out just 90 degrees. Bring them back up to stop signs, pivot them out, back in. So we're just doing 90 degrees. And then do 180. So fingertips turn out and then turn them all the way in. Notice where you feel that in the forearms. Turn them all the way out and all the way in. Take that 2 or 3 more times. And then release your arms, roll your wrist out. Take your right hand, put your left arm into your right hand, and we're gonna start near the elbow. Find kind of the center of your forearm and start to just press and squeeze down. Just patting the thumb into the arm. Take that at least 2 or 3 times. Notice where you might feel tension. So squeezing the thumb down the opposite forearm. And then we're gonna start back up at the top, and I want you to spread your fingers and then make a fist every place. So press right underneath the elbow, spread your fingers and make a fist. Notice if you feel some tension there. Go a little bit farther down, same thing, open the fingers and squeeze. So balling and releasing the hands. Take a few more like that, moving your thumb down the arm. Notice where you might get some resistance, or might get some feedback from the forearms, especially depending on how much you are using these muscles. Awesome. When you feel complete on that side, move to the other side. First, just pressing the thumb down this sort of tender muscle in the forearm. Take that a few times. Little self-feedback here, seeing kind of how things feel. Might feel really different on your dominant arm. And then press right underneath the elbow and squeeze and make a fist. Do that a few more times, pressing farther down the arm. Notice where you start to feel this a little deeper. Awesome. Finish up on this arm. And then roll the arms and the wrist out. We're gonna come over into tabletop, start to find a little bit more movement. If you're on a hard surface, you may wanna pad your knees. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Knees come hip distance, and then shake the hips side to side. Again, allow this movement to become a little more fluid, a little more creative. Drop the hips back and circle. Maybe you find figure 8s. So take the next 4 to 5 rounds of breath to just move in a way that feels good in your body. Not worrying about what it looks like. Just allowing the body to feel what feels natural to come next. When you feel complete on that, come back to neutral spine. Start to feel this internal pull of the belly button in towards the spine. we're going to do a little bit more work on the wrist. So we're going to take our left fingertips, turn them back towards our left knee. Doesn't matter how far around they go. And we're just going to feel the stretch down the forearm on the left side. So you can rock it back your hips an inch or two. You might start to really feel some serious resistance pretty quickly. So be really gentle. Just breathe into your forearm. Slowly return the left fingertips towards the front. Other side. So take your right fingertips, turn them back towards your knees to the degree that it feels okay, where you get a stretch in your forearm. And maybe you wrap your hips back an inch. Take another round of breath. Slowly release back to center. Fingertips again, still spread wide. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. Working the wrists in a different way. We're going to rock the shoulders to the left and then rock the shoulders to the right. So we're taking the shoulders wider than the wrists, just rocking them left and right. And then rock them forward and back. So we're going to pull the shoulders a little bit past the wrist and bring them back. So we're starting to warm up the hips, working the wrist. And then we'll do this a few times. So rock into neutral, rock the shoulders to the left in the body, and then to the right, back, and forward. Let's do that a few more times. Left, right, back, forward. So take this as slow as fast as you want. If you want to make it more of a circle, more of a fluid movement, you can. If you get into a place and you think, ooh, I need to rest, I need to fall a little deeper into that side, stay there. So we're just rocking left, right, back, forward. So take another round if it's there, if it feels okay. And then come back to neutral. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. Stay in your tabletop position. So similar to what we did with the forearms before. Turn your left fingertips in. So we're taking the back of our hand, putting it on the earth. So your thumb is facing towards the front of the mat. And we're going to start to curl the left hand into these little awkward fists. So curl the fingers in, create a fist. You may feel a lot of sensation on the back of the arm. Take another fist or two. Awesome, and then switch. So shake out the left hand, right fingertips. Place the hand, back the hand on the earth. Right fingertips face towards the left hand, and then peel the fingertips in, roll them in and make little fists. We're still breathing here. Take one or two more rounds there. Awesome. Shake the right hand out. We'll start to move through a little bit more flowing movement. So if at any point you feel like this is too much, you can come back to this tabletop position. You don't ever have to go into down dog if you don't like to. But if you would like to go to down dog, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Press your chest towards your thighs. And we'll start to walk our dog out. So bend one knee then the other, finding a little bit of movement. And then when you're ready, start to walk your feet towards your hands. We're going to meet in the front of the mat. Forward fold. Take a really nice big bend in the knees. Allow the chest to rest down on the thighs. Head and neck are really heavy. So we're draping the top half of our body over the bottom half. Letting the head fall, spine, release. Then press the hands into the shins or the thighs. Find a halfway lift, inhale. Peel the shoulders away from the ears. So we're straightening the legs out a little bit more. Exhale, fold and release. Root down through the feet, rise up through the arms, take it all the way overhead. And then we're going to press the hips forward and take a little bit of arch in the spine. Bring the hands to the heart. And we'll move through a little bit of a flow here, working on the hip flexors. So if you spend all day seated at a desk or at a workbench or something, your hips stay in this flexed active. Your hip flexors are being active and flexed all the time. So when you go to try to release them to stand, you might feel some pain. And that's usually because you're not getting much of a release in your hip flexors. It's just more of an active contraction all the time. So we're gonna work on that a little bit. Plant the feet down. Pull the left knee into the chest. If you need to reach out for something to balance, feel free. It's not about the balance so much as it is about actively engaging and releasing our hip flexors. So grab for something if you want to balance. Pull the left knee to the chest as I fall over. So we're actively engaging the hip flexor here. It's not just passive. And so then we're going to press the knee back past the other knee. So we're finding a release here. So we're pressing our left heel and our left foot back towards the back wall behind us. Pull the left knee to the chest, actively engage your hip flexor. And then press it back. One more time like that on this side. Press it back, release. Step the left foot back. Find yourself in a warrior one. So bend into your front knee. We're now getting a nice big stretch on our left hip flexor. Shoulders and hips are squaring to the front. Release the arms overhead. Check in with your breath. We're going to bring the hands down to the earth or to blocks. Pivot on your back toes. Find a runner's lunge. So we're bending into the right knee. Back leg is nice and strong and straight. And then drop to the back knee, untuck your back toes, low lunge. Again, hands can stay grounded. We're getting nice and deep opening in the psoas, undoing some of that sitting that we're doing all day. You can stay here if it feels okay. If you want something different, place the hands on the knee, or maybe you take the arms overhead. 3 more rounds of breath wherever you are in your low lunge. Plant the hands down. We're going to walk our hands back to straighten out our right leg. So we call this half splits. Peel the right toes back towards the face. Think about pulling your right hip back, left hip forward. Like you're going to square your hips towards the front. You should be getting a really big stretch down the back of your right leg. Come back to your breath. Bend back into your right knee. Find your way to that runner's lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Runner's lunge, hands are on the earth or your blocks. Your left hand stays down, your right arm is going to peel open, find a nice twist. We're stacking our shoulders, stacking our wrist. Plant your right hand back down, drop back down to your back knee. Swing your right knee around, doesn't matter how it gets there. Find your way back to your tabletop, shake it out. Take a round of cat-cow from here. So drop the belly, lift the gaze, inhale. Find that spine undulation again. And then round the spine, tuck the chin, press the mat away. One more time through like that. Drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Come back to neutral. We'll step it back to our down dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high and back. Press your chest towards your thighs. And maybe you bend one knee and the other, finding some movement in the legs. Gaze forward, make sure your hands are spread nice and wide, especially the first finger and the thumb pressing into the earth. Start to walk your feet to the front. Find your forward fold. So drape over, head and neck are heavy, knees are bent. So anytime we find a forward fold, we let our head be lower than our heart. Start to kick on our parasympathetic nervous system. So that's our anti-fight or flight. Allows us to rest and digest to calm the nerves. Press into the shins, inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Root down through the feet, slowly rise up, take the arms all the way overhead. Reach. Press the palms together, press the hip points forward. Release the hip flexors. And then hands come to heart, spine comes to neutral. Awesome. So we'll take that similar sequence on this side. Root down through your left foot. Again, if you want to grab something for balance, it's more about our hip flexors, less about a balance challenge here. Pull the right knee into the chest. So you can actually take your fingertips and feel that muscle, the hip flexor contracting. So it's holding your leg up. And then press your right flexed foot back behind you. So your right knee comes past your left. We're allowing that muscle to lengthen and release. Pull the right knee back into the chest. Actively contract your hip flexor. Press it back, lengthen it. One more time, pull it in. Press it back, release. So using your balance, maybe grabbing for something, you step it back. Find your warrior one. So in warrior one, our front heel and our back heel are in alignment. We're standing like we're on railroad tracks, not on a tightrope. The wider we can get our stance, if we're not feeling balanced, the more that will help. So bend deep into the left knee. Make sure the left knee is not coming past the ankle. And allow the back right leg. Notice how the hip flexor and the psoas is lengthening back. Release the arms overhead. Check in with your breath. Awesome. Take a big inhale, reach. Exhale, plant your hands. Spin onto your back toes. Find a runner's lunge. So bend into your front knee. And then drop your right knee down. Untuck your right toes. We're in our low lunge. Think about there being a magnet on the front of your right hip point and it's pulling down towards the earth. Releasing your hip flexor. Hands can be floor blocks. If you want to walk the hands up the knee, interlace over the knee, find a little resistance, or take the arms overhead. 3 more rounds of breath, wherever you choose to be in this pose. Great, take your hands to the earth. Walk your hands back. Straighten your left leg out, pull your left toes back. So the foot is super active. Big stretch in our hamstring and our calf on the left side. Take a big breath. Let it go. 2 more rounds of breath here. You've got this. Bend back into your front knee, coming out the way we came in. Tuck your right toes. Find your runner's lunge again. Right hand stays on the earth. Left arm peels up. Take a twist. Maybe the gaze goes to the left thumb. Plant your left hand down. Drop back to your back knee. However you get there, sweep your left leg around. Find your way to your tabletop. Shake it out. Awesome. Find some circles from tabletop. Rocking the hips forward and back. And we'll melt it back into child's pose before we move on. So take your knees a little wider. Start to drop your hips towards your heels. Walk the arms out. Find length in the arms. And if you don't have the space and you feel like it's a strain to try to get the chest towards the earth, definitely a good place to place a block or a pillow or anything you might have underneath your head. So you're allowing things to melt. You're not trying to hold yourself up. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, side out. Awesome. Find your way to down dog. We're going to take that little standing flow one more time. A little bit less time between poses, and then we're going to wind our class down, find some nice inversion. So find your hips up and back. Find this upside down V of your down dog. Walk it out. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Step to the front of your mat. We'll go straight into our half lift. And fold. Inhale, reach and rise. We're rooting down through the feet. Reach the hands up. Press the palms together. And then press the hip points forward. Find a little arch in the back. Hands come to heart. Let it go. This time, let's shake the legs out before we go on. Right foot plants down. Maybe you grab for balance from something. Pull the left knee into the chest. Activate your hip flexor. And then press the left foot back. Lengthen it. 2 more times. Pull it in. Lengthen, push it back. Inhale, pull it in. Lengthen it, press it back. Step the left foot back, land. If you didn't land exactly how you want for your warrior one, readjust your feet. It's not a test. Allow your body to find a pose that works for you. So back heel is down, foot is about a 45-degree angle. Square the hips and the shoulders to the front. Bend into your right knee. Warrior one. One more round of breath. Plant the hands down. Pivot onto your back toes. Find your runner's lunge. Drop to your back knee. Untuck your back toe. Allow the hips to drop towards the earth. Finding our low lunge. Hands on the knees, overhead, on the earth, wherever you want to be. 3 rounds of breath. Plant the hands on the earth, walk it back, half splits. Straighten your front leg out. Peel the toes back towards the face. You feel like you could go deeper, maybe you start to fold over your extended leg. Bend back into your front knee. Tuck your left toes. Send your left leg long, find your runner's lunge. Left hand down, right arm reaches, nice big twist. Plant your right hand, release your back knee, swing your right knee around. This time on the right side from our tabletop. Take some little fire hydrants, as I like to call them, circling the right knee out. Awesome. From tabletop, fingertips spread wide. Tuck your toes, down dog. Last down dog of the class. Big inhale. Let it go. Hopper step. Halfway lift, find length. Fold. Root down, rise up. Your body knows where we're going now. Reach up. Palms press, press the hips forward. Hands come to heart, release. Root down through the left foot, like your foot is rooting all the way to the center of the earth. Pull the right knee into the chest. Engage the hip flexor. Engage the belly button into the spine. Press your right heel back. Pull the right knee in. And press it back, lengthen your hip flexor. I call this the antidote to sitting. Pull it back in. And press it back out. This time, maybe find some grace as you land your back foot down. Not an easy transition. However you got there, you're here now. Rise up, warrior one. So back heel is down, foot is grounded. Finding some lengthened space where there wasn't before. One more round of breath. Plant the hands down, pivot your back toes, runner's lunge. Drop to your back knee, you know where we're going, low lunge. Hands grounded, knee or overhead. Press the hips forward. Check in with your breath, maybe in and out through the nose. Plant your hands, walk it back, half splits. Left toes pull back. Nice, we're almost ready to relax. Pull back into your low lunge. Release your right knee off the earth. Right hand goes down. Left arm reaches. Take that twist again. Last time. Feels so good. Plant your left hand. Drop your right knee back down. Pull the left knee back to meet the right. Take some circles. Fire hydrant that left knee out. Awesome. We're going to sit back. Cross the ankles. Extend the legs long. Take a big inhale, reach. Exhale, reach towards the toes. Doesn't matter if you get anywhere close to them. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, extend and fold. So you might have a nice bend in the knees. Inhale, reach. Last time, extend and fold. Maybe your hands just go by the sides of the legs. Two more rounds of breath. Slowly walk your hands back towards the hips. Plant the feet. Scoot your hips towards your feet and slowly start to lay yourself down. Pull the knees into the chest and rock gently side to side. Massage out your low back. Thank your body for this time in your practice. Keep the right knee pulled in, left leg can extend long. So here we'll notice that we're extending the hip flexor on the left side, and we're pulling the right knee in. We're gonna reach for half happy baby. So take your right knee out wide, reach your right foot up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can grab for the back of the knee or the right foot. Half happy baby, getting deep into the right hip, allowing the left hip flexor to lengthen. Awesome, slowly release. Pull both knees back into the chest, rock it out. Take this to the other side. So pull your left knee into the chest, squeeze, extend your right leg long, release your right hip flexor. Pull your left knee out wide, reach left foot towards the ceiling, half happy baby. Slowly release. Pull both knees into the chest. We'll find full happy baby if it feels available. Take both knees wide. Release both soles of the feet to the earth. Reach for the ankles, the backs, the knees. Wherever you can make contact, maybe you can reach the outside blades of the feet. Making sure the head and the neck are still grounded. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Where can you relax in the face and in the shoulders? Slowly release your feet. Soles of feet on the earth. Walk your feet out wide, let the knees fall in. We're coming back into that constructive rest where we started our class. Hands rest on the belly. Allow the body to settle. Notice if there's places in the bodies and the muscle groups that we worked that feel lighter, looser, maybe a little warmer. Notice if you cleared out some space in the mind. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for your body and your breath. You can stay in this constructive rest, or if you'd like full Shavasana, extend the legs long. Allow the toes to fall out, arms to fall out wide. We'll just be here for a few moments of time. Release the space between your eyebrows. Allow your jaw to soften. Maybe allow the tongue to fall from the roof of the mouth. Shoulders melt into the earth. Allow the entire back body to feel rooted, stable, held up. Noticing space or expansion on the front of the body. Take rest, and I'll bring us back together in a few moments' time. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Notice the rise and fall of the belly, the ribs, the chest. Make little fists with the hands. When you start to feel ready, place soles of the feet on the earth. Pick your hips up, move them to one side, fall over to the other. Find this fetal posture, this place of transition between our practice and the rest of our day and our life. And as you feel ready, start to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Hands can rest on the knees or over the heart, whatever feels better to you. Take a moment to find gratitude for yourself, for your body, for your breath, for your magical hands, your creative minds, for all the amazing things that you put out into the world, the talent that you nurture, the perseverance that you have to be where you are right now. Remind yourself that you are enough just as you are right now. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. No changes needed. No apologies necessary. Taking a sense of gratitude for yourself, for your creative endeavors, for your body and your breath. And this reminder that you are enough to get with you through the rest of your day and your week. It's truly my honor to guide you through your practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Thank you, yogis and creatives and makers.